Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Great Watches Podcast, episode number 20. Unfortunately, we were all busy with lots of little bits, so we couldn't record a podcast for Japan. It wasn't the best race in the world anyway, so it's in hindsight, it's not the end of the world. But I'm joined by my usual co-host, Causa LFC 96, because no one else seems to be turning up these days. So if you let me know in the comments who you want to join us as well, put it below so we can try and get those people in. But yeah, how are you doing today, Causa?
Yeah, not too bad. It seems to just be us two as regulars. So Sember obviously has his own reasons. He's got a very good-looking girlfriend, so he's probably spending time with that. And Jack is lonely, so
Yeah.
so he's got absolutely no excuse. But yeah, Japan was a pretty mediocre race at best. So there wasn't really no one missed the podcast for that, because it would have been us going, that was a bit dull, wasn't it? And then that would have been it.
It wasn't fantastic. But the USA this weekend, what would you rate it out of excuse me, out of 10? Yeah,
6.
6.
It was an all right race, but
Yeah.
it wasn't that amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, you had a couple of bits at the start. Well, I'm gonna give it like a 5 because I fell asleep doing it, so I can't really say much. So, yeah, I think it was okay. Hamilton. It was nice at the start. It was nice to see that Vettel actually got ahead at the start, but of course that only lasted 3 or 4 laps until Hamilton got into the DRS then, and and then he sort of ran away with the lead then, Alex.
Well, it made it exciting for a couple of laps, going, what if something happens to Hamilton? Now Vettel's going to win the race, etc. And then Hamilton went past him. So for about 4 laps, we ended up, we had all this, what could happen? How, Vettel's, putting himself where he needs to be, and then Hamilton overtook, and everyone went, well, there we go. That was it. That was it. So yeah, I think Hamilton can very much relax knowing that he's surely got the drivers' championship, as long as he just doesn't absolutely do the biggest bottle ever, and like his car blows up or something like Malaysia last year. So I think it's now pretty dull, the championship. Thank you, Ferrari, for that one. So it's fair. Hamilton's going to have 4 along with Vettel as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Ferrari bottle job of the well, they've done it a few times now, haven't they? Ferrari, they did it. Was it 2012? They could have won it with Alonso, and they bottled it then as well. So 2013, one of the two.
So it's one at 2012 and 2014.
Oh, maybe
there was 2. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there was 2.
Anyway, they bottled it a lot recently. So yeah, Hamilton has got the win really. Unless the only way Hamilton doesn't win it is if he doesn't score any points in the next 3 races.
Which means Vettel's still got to win all 3. Because what was is it 69 points?
66 behind.
66 points.
It's not looking likely, really, is it? So, yeah, unfortunately, we've had that, and the race wasn't fantastic. I think, if anything, the race was more the intro to the race, where they had the guy from the "Let's get ready to rumble."
I'm so glad I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I saw some snapshots of Hamilton and Vettel looking at each other with a trophy in the middle. And then I heard that it was going on, and Channel 4 decided to just go, no one wants to watch this. And to be fair, I'm glad they did, because, I wouldn't have wanted to watch it. I was at work, so I'm very glad I didn't see it. But, you could just imagine how bad and how cringeworthy that could be. Yes. I mean, it's a nice idea. The idea's good. But when you've got to read out 20 names like that, it gets a bit like, oh, please.
Yeah, I think they catered very much the American audience there. They love that sort of thing. But us Brits and Europeans are not a massive fan of it. But it was something different, I guess, at the start. But I guess the main talking point of the race, it's got to be that penalty that Max had, and it's just.
No, we're going to go right to the end, are we?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't a fun. I just wanted to hit the big points first, Alex, and that is one of the bigger points of the weekend.
That is the main point.
Yeah. Well, God, what's your thought on it?
Well, it's a corner cut. He's cut the corner to overtake someone in the same way that you can't overtake someone when you're off the track. He's off the track. If he went round the outside and went off the track, it's an illegal overtake. He's got at the inside off the track and he's made an illegal overtake. I don't see what the issue is. When I first saw it, I went, "Are they going to allow that?" And then the 5-second penalty came up, and I went, "Yep, there we go," and then turned the telly off because it was like, well, yeah, surely that should have happened anyway.
But you've got to think about it. Raikkonen did squeeze him, and he sort of had to go over it. So
looking at the replay, at first I thought, yeah, he squeezed him, but then looking at the replay, there was just enough room to put a tyre there. I know it's close, but there is still enough room to put a tyre there. But still, whether Raikkonen has squeezed him or not, he has cut the corner to make the pass, is the issue.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's also Sainz also did. He cut that corner. I know it wasn't an overtake
the
as well.
amount of corner cuts. They were on board with Daniel Ricciardo, which was about to overtake Valtteri Bottas, or had just come off not quite overtake him, and they just cut a corner, by a good half a foot.
I don't know what Charlie Whiting and the rest of the stewards were smoking this weekend, but
track limits were absolutely unbelievable. You had corner cuts, and then you had track extending was unbelievable through the top of the hill at the end of the first sector and the end of the penultimate corner.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was like some sort of open lobbies when they forgot to turn on the settings.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was absolutely shocking. The fact that was the only penalty is surprising. I think Max would have been able to take it if there was more penalties that were dished out for corner cutting. But I think the fact that he was the only one is the reason why he's got an issue.
Yeah, I still don't think he should have got it. It's a difficult one to call, really. But when he was in the podium room and he just looked and went,
I saw a replay of that. Yeah,
and it was. If you've seen that GIF, those who are listening, the Simpsons GIF when the grandpa walks into the club and puts his hat down and then walks around and puts a hat back on and walks out. It was like that, really. And
that'll be on the screen while this is going on.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can do GIFs on. I'll put the video. I'll put the video of it on. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it's like a repeat of Mexico last year when the podium.
Well, that was 3 different people got 3rd place.
Yeah, exactly, which is a lot worse. But
like what?
Yeah. Yeah, and as well, the podium interviews with Usain Bolt. Oh, he had no clue. It was like the first ever F1 race he's ever watched. He had no idea what he was talking about.
He's got no idea.
Idiot.
They've gone, do you want to get paid for doing something? Yeah, what is it? F1. What?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gone, I'll just go. Who's this bloke? Oh, it's Lewis Hamilton. Oh, he looks all right. And they look through Instagram and goes, oh my God, what's that hair? And then it goes like that. Like, I could see why people like Martin Brundle aren't necessarily the coolest guys to put on the podium to do interviews. But at the same time, Usain Bolt isn't a great person to interview for an F1 race. It's like putting him interviewing people after a boxing match, then going, so you hit him in the face. How did you feel doing that? Like he got no idea what he's doing.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It really the wrong person to have on the podium. Really the wrong person. The next point I want to talk about was Alonso, and it was a brand new power unit. Was it a brand new power unit in that car as well?
It was a brand new power unit, I think.
And it blew up.
Was it?
Again?
Can we just use their proper name, which is McLaren Renault now? Because Honda, they were looking okay. Honda actually, despite the fact that their power unit wasn't that quick, it was becoming reliable. They were finishing races towards the middle part of the season. And then they've gone, oh, so you're moving to Renault next year? Kind of gone, yeah. They go, oh, here's his power unit from ages ago that we're now going to give you. The previous generation power unit, and it's like, what are you doing? Torro said, I was literally be sitting there going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like they're now sort of banging their head against a table, going, what are we doing?
Yeah, they must be regretting that decision, really.
I mean, another decision that Toro Rosso have made this week. It only came out maybe an hour or 2 ago.
Yeah.
is that the driver lineup for next week is Pierre Gasly off the back of his amazing race that he left F1 for, and Brendan Hartley,
Yeah. Yeah. I did
who,
notice that.
although had a decent performance compared to the fact it's the first time he's driven a open wheel single seater car for about 6-7 years, I wouldn't say was amazingly great,
Mm.
but I guess is Danny Kvyat contracted next year?
I don't know. No one really knows. There's rumors that he is,
No
rumors
one
that he
knows.
isn't.
Yeah, because I thought he was, but that might have just been rumors. So is this them going? Well, of course, Danny, we might give you a contract next year, but it depends how these people are going to do in the car that you're going to gift them. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit like, yeah, Danny Kvyat isn't going to be in it next year, is he?
I don't
Because
want him
there are
in.
much quicker drivers than Danny Kvyat.
Yeah. I don't personally. I don't want him in. I think he's a waste of
No.
space. He's
Yes, same.
bottled it way too many times, and Brendan Hartley will go. He'll do his couple of races, but he won't keep the seat. He'll go back to
No.
endurance racing with Porsche. So
There are
yeah,
so many quick GP2 drivers, though, or Formula 2 as it is now.
yeah,
Like,
the,
you could take a multitude of them, and they would be better than Danny Kvyat. Danny Kvyat's had his chances, and he's sort of messed them up a little bit.
yeah, and I'm sure
So
there are opportunities in other disciplines that he can do
yeah,
well in, but
100%.
he's just got to.
Or maybe a different car.
Yeah, maybe.
And there may be a team that's going, oh well, actually we could use Danny Kvyat's experience compared with his age. Because fair, he's quite experienced, and he's still fairly young. Struggle with that one.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't got many options because if you look at it,
No.
you've got Williams, there's Massa, Kubica, and
Do you want to say that correct this time?
Kubica,
Thank you.
and
Paul di Resta.
Paul di Resta vying for that seat.
Paul di Resta's looking good for that seat because Williams said that although he was only really there to give, sort of compare himself to Kubica to see if he was ready, that it was actually quick. It was actually good.
Oh, was he? Okay.
And they've given Williams a real headache. And the boss of Williams, I don't think it was Claire Williams, but someone sort of near her, said that Paul di Resta has given them a real headache because he was seriously good. He was seriously impressive.
Hmm.
So could have Paul di Resta back, which would be another British driver, which is always nice because it can't be any worse than Julian Palmer. Let's just just move off again from Danny Kvyat and go to another thing. But Carlos Sainz seriously impressive this week.
Yeah, he did really well in that Renault. Of course, his teammate retired, unfortunately. What place did he get? I'll just get the standings up now. This is a bit of a rushed podcast here.
6, 7. It was
Uh,
between the two Force Indias.
okay. Sorry, I'm trying to find the results. They're not coming up on.
Yeah,
the
no, I
business
don't know.
website.
I don't think he's 6th or 7th.
Here we go. Let's click on that.
7th.
Yeah. Sainz came 7th, so that's a good haul of points for him. 6
Yeah.
points. With Perez 8th.
It was a
Massa
really good
9th.
race.
Kvyat did get a point though, but he needs to go. But just talking about driver lineups for next year. Charles Leclerc is pretty much guaranteed at Sauber now, from what I've heard. But it depends. I think Verline's going to get dropped because we're going for up the latest Ferrari engines. They'll have the same year Ferrari engine. So I think Verline's going to have to come back and be a reserve driver, unfortunately.
Sauber next year could actually be a decent package.
It could do. I think it will.
The fact they got the latest engine to go with them would be, is obviously really helpful. But the issue for Verline is he's a Mercedes contracted driver, or whatever it is, whatever they call him.
Yeah.
And he's currently driving a Ferrari engined car with no Mercedes places really up for grabs in front of him. The only team would be Williams. Williams are looking at their own drivers because they're only using Mercedes engines. They aren't really governed by Mercedes in the same way that Manor were. Yeah. So the issue for Verline is that he's turned into being a Mercedes driver without being able to be a Mercedes driver.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So, I think Verline's absolutely screwed. So, to be fair, why not? Yeah, give Charles Leclerc's already a Ferrari driver, and in the future he will be an actual Ferrari driver.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because he's bloody quick. He is seriously impressive. What was it? Was he F? Is he an F3 or F2?
F1 F2.
He won F2.
Yeah,
Considerably won F2
I believe so. Yeah.
by a good considerable amount of points. So he will be a Ferrari driver at some point. So stick him in a Sauber, give him a decent engine, see what he can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Force India, the only other team supplied by Mercedes, but they're not going to change their lineup because they've got a half decent lineup. So, yeah, unfortunately for Verline, I mean, he might have to go back to he might just DTM or some endurance racing maybe, or a test driver. But we'll have to wait and see really. But just looking down the rest of the grid, Stroll was 11th. He started 16th, so that's not a bad place for the rookie. Van Dorn. Equally, he did it. He started 20th and came 12th, so that's another good result for the McLaren
Pretty good,
driver.
yeah. Nice one.
Hartley, the first race back in 13th, so it's not bad considering he haven't been in a single seat for 6 or 7 years.
But to be fair, there were only 13 finishes, weren't there?
No, 16. Both Haas finished and Sauber finished. Marcus Ericsson.
Oh yeah, Hartley went on the Supersofts, I think, at the end. And then absolutely destroyed everyone ahead of him because his long run pace was unreal.
So I didn't realise that because I fell asleep during the race. Those who are listening, because I'd been out all day doing sports, so I didn't realise Daniel Ricciardo.
I'm not gonna lie, I was reading.
I didn't realise Daniel Ricciardo retired.
He retired engine issues about the middle of almost dead in the middle of the race.
I just never realised.
Just never realised.
Yeah. But it's a bad turnout for the Haas team in 14th and 5th, 14th and 16th, and the fact
they were really slow. Magnussen was awful.
Home race, and they just Grosjean's fastest lap was a 1:41.2. It's 4 seconds slower than
Brendan Hartley was in the 39s.
Yeah, no.
Well,
that's still pretty slow.
Yeah, but 2 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Magnussen qualified last by a good considerable amount of time. And Grosjean was up in like P13 in qualify or something like that.
Yeah, didn't Magnussen qualify last, but because of the penalties, he managed to get up places, which is stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. The penalty system currently is stupid.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because didn't Magnussen get a grid penalty and yet qualified higher than he did? It was ridiculously mental. One thing I heard about qualifying is that on Sky they had the Force India team principal, as they sometimes do. Their principals that sort of go on and talk halfway through the race.
Yeah.
And Perez in Saturday qualifying had a migraine.
Did he?
And qualified pretty decently, and yet had a migraine basically that whole qualifying session. Finished the qualifying session, didn't speak to any press. Took a load of whatever you need to take for migraines, and then woke up the next morning.
He's had a couple of issues. He had issues in Malaysia as well, didn't he?
He was ill in Malaysia, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
really carried on and had a decent race.
Yeah. I think we've exhausted the US Grand Prix information, really.
I was just trying to think if there's anything else.
I don't think there is.
Crofty absolutely missing the point of an amazing overtake. The fact that Vettel's gone through a back marker and then round the outside of Bottas, and they've gone, oh, Van Dorn, what a great back marker. Yeah, that was really the main point of that overtake. Congratulations.
Good old Crofty.
Crofty. Anything else? Bottas been awful.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him. He's just
Bottas is shocking.
Since he's had the contract extension, he's just like going, nah, I've got a contract now. I'm not going to bother.
Because he was actually getting like back in his groove, and then they announced a contract, and he's gone, I'm all right. 0.5 of a second off his teammate.
Yeah, I know.
In qualifying, I mean that is not great.
He did
is not great.
He did do a faster lap in the race, but Hamilton was cruising because Hamilton's not going to bother risking it.
Yeah, but didn't Bottas pit?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't think.
Okay, but yeah.
No, because there was 2 that did and 2 that didn't.
2 that didn't and 2 that didn't.
No, 2 that did and 2 that didn't. Okay. I know. I put that all in one very Vixen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So on to the Mexican Grand Prix, Alex. Not the best race in the world, personally. I think it's a bit boring.
Nah, it's a pretty dull race.
Because it's in altitude. It's higher up, high altitude track. Well, higher altitude track. So there's the air is thinner, so the DRS doesn't work as well, and the slipstream doesn't work as well. So we're going to see no overtakes as well because of the cars as well. So this weekend is going to be very boring.
I'm just trying to think of places to overtake. It's the main straight, and it's so long that McLaren could have slipstream, DRS, rich revs compared to someone in lean, and still lose time along that straight.
Yeah.
Into the corners, there's a dive bomb in turn 1, a dive bomb into turn 4, and then the rest is single file because you can't overtake. Through the S's you can't overtake. That tight hairpin you can't overtake. The last corners you can't overtake. So, yeah. Mexico is a pretty dull track. It is probably my least favourite track. No, it is my least favourite track of all of them, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. Yeah, but predictions, it's going to be Lewis, really, isn't it? But
yeah, Lewis is going to win because of his engine. I think Bottas is going to be in like 5th again. All right, so if we're going to do predictions, let's go Lewis pole, Lewis win, and then let's go. I was going to go Raikkonen and Vettel, just mix it up, but you know damn well that's not going to happen. even if Raikkonen's is a minute up the road, he's making a 1-minute pit stop.
Yeah.
So it's going to go Vettel Raikkonen.
Yeah. The only thing I'd change from that is put Max in 3rd instead of Kimi. Just because I want a Red Bull up there, but probably won't happen.
Yeah. Probably won't happen, but tempted to put Ricardo instead of Verstappen in yours, but don't know. I don't know. I'd love it if the championship could go down to the last race, even if it's 24 points difference. I'd love it too, but there is no way that's happening.
Yeah, I think
so. We are doomed to the fact that next week we might have the championship win. I don't think we will. I think it will go to the week after. Oh no, hold on. No, it will almost definitely happen next week.
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, well actually, but no, because you'll need Vettel will need to be within 50 points, and the fact that it's a 66 point lead, 16 points. Hamilton would have to finish about 7th, which unless he absolutely bottles it, isn't going to happen.
Not going to happen, is it? I just don't think it will. It's just Ferrari bottling it again. I think the only way to have Ferrari could have done it, but they just bottled it. But I think maybe even introduce like standard parts into the sport.
They are going to do that. Is being very, very heavily mentioned at the moment because there's a new set of regulations that are coming in 2021, maybe 2020 or 2021, because it's the new engine stuff that's going to be coming in. That's why Aston Martin are getting into the sport now and stuff to gain an understanding. And then because there's sort of like an engine agreement that they'll keep the engines as they are to keep the development and then stop people spending tons of money on developing new engines again. So then there's that agreement which ends in 2021 where the new engine regulations come in, which I think will include standard parts. But also what I heard, they were talking about standard parts for suspension and something else as well, which will keep costs really low.
Okay.
Because if you've got a standard part, the FIA will go, here's your standard part, make it. So there is absolutely no development that goes on in that.
Yeah.
It's a standard part, which will keep the loss really low. Keep the engine costs really low. Make them a nice V8, V10. I think V10's been mentioned.
I don't think I'll back to it personally.
I think it's V8 might be mentioned.
Or V8 hybrid.
I think it V8 whatever. Just a V8 hybrid would work because you get the noise. The one thing that's missing is the noise. The cars look amazing. Let's be fair, the cars look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
If you can stop the dirty air being so big, which is easily done because it has been, this has only been a thing in the past sort of 4 years, maybe. The huge dirty air effect. Like, okay, so say in 2009, the dirty air wasn't a huge thing.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy to go back to that, work out the aerodynamics, and then go, well, let's make them faster. So the only thing that's missing is the engine noise because the cars do look amazing. So put a nice big V8 in that with the hybrid to please like polar bears. but make them like 900 horsepower V8s with a little battery in it, the sort of battery that powers your phone. And then go, oh yeah,
dear.
it's a hybrid. It's like people that drive Priuses, but then like do 90 on the motorway, like, oh yeah, well done, mate. And then yeah, put a nice V8 in it, like have like get rid of the shark fins, put a shark nose, so like just paint the shark on the nose, and then I don't know, that'd be about it. Beautiful.
Welcome
Happy
to
as
Alex deluded world of F1, where we just put anything on the car to please everybody. Oh damn it! Yeah, I think
what I really want is for the livery of a V8 hybrid car to literally be of an ice cap melting.
you're just a bad person, man. God.
I know, I'm an awful person. But wouldn't that be amazing though?
No, it wouldn't. No, that would not
Would it
be
not?
cool. No.
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 Okay.
Oh,
All right,
dear.
let's move on. I was having a moment then. Amazing idea, but all
If they
right.
could get
V8s.
liveries that could change during the race, that'd be quite cool. I don't know how.
I
they
mean,
do
I'd
that.
love to know how that's the thing. They come into the pits, they quickly spray paint it, and then they go out again.
No, do you know when you can have like you put water on the car and it changes colour?
Oh, okay. No, I get you. Okay,
That
that's
wouldn't
awesome.
work if it was raining though, but it would work
Well,
in
yeah,
the
it
truck.
would, because when it starts raining, you could tell if it's raining because then the cars would change colour.
Yeah. What I mean is, no. What I mean, no. What I mean is, if it started a wet race, that's what I mean.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. You know it was getting drier because the cars would change colour. No. So hold on. So wouldn't it? Yeah. To be fair, wouldn't it be amazing
It would be quite cool. Yes.
if in the pit stop there's a bloke next to Jackman that just throws water on the car into the driver, admittedly, and then the car changed colour when they got out.
Yeah, he's got 2.9 seconds to change the
Yeah.
water all over the car.
Yeah. To
Yeah,
just
we
chuck
can
it in the
dream.
middle.
We can dream.
Yeah. I think that's more delusional than me putting a shark livery on the nose of a Formula One car.
No, I thought that was cool. I did just your whole thing about fuck the polar bears was not cool.
Yeah, but I mean it's racing. Who cares? I don't. I mean, why? I'm not too bothered about the polar bear. I'm worried about how closely behind Bottas can be behind a Sauber, because he's about as good as being in a Sauber. So I mean, that's what I don't. It's racing. That's the whole idea. We'll have like the I can't even think of an electric car now. The Tesla. Tesla could deal with that. I mean, it's racing. Just get on with it.
Polar bears or racing cars, let us know in the comments below.
Not polar bears.
Oh, well, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not going to be the most hated person, aren't I?
Yeah,
I thought it was Jack.
pretty
but
much.
now I might be.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. I think that rounds it off though for today's podcast. We're talking about liveries and polar bears dying. And
Oh no,
shark
there's one
fins.
more thing. We need more pink in F1 still. I think that should stay.
Why don't you write a list and post it on Twitter and see what people think, agree and disagree with you?
Okay, that's good.
That's a good plan. Okay.
Things
So-
F1 needs to change before 2021.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Okay.
We'll
Okay, that's
we'll
good.
do a winter podcast special where we tell Chase Carey what we want in F1.
Okay, yeah, that sounds
We'll
good.
do that. Okay. All right.
Plug.
Yeah. So I think that rounds it off for today's. A bit shorter today, just because two of us and we're a bit tired from all our extra curricular activities. There we go. Got it out. Yes, just the two of us as well. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. Let us know what your thoughts about the whole race and our ideas at the end with the polar bears. And we shall see you next week for the Mexican Grand Prix. Don't forget to check myself and Causa in the comments description below. And we'll see you in a couple of days' time for the Mexican Grand Prix review. Good night.